I hope you guys are doing great this Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So, of course, I titled this video Escaping the Matrix. Now, the term or the context I'm using the word matrix is something very different from what a lot of your other people used it as. Something very interesting about the word matrix. It has so many definitions. It all depends on the context that this word is used in. It could mean a system that's put in place for you to live a certain way, move a certain way. It could be a crystal or a gem that has some type of developmental differences. It could be a grain or a certain flow of things. It can also be an arrangement of numbers in rows. And then also, it's an environment or material in which something develops. And I'm going to use it in this video in all the above. Now, you're probably asking, why am I still up at 3 a.m.? I really don't know why. Outside of me drinking a yerba mate about 7-ish. Oh, I shouldn't have done it. But I also have to take care of some business and wrap that up. And I'm just here in thought. I was actually having a conversation with someone a few minutes ago that kind of inspired this quick video. I think that everywhere we turn, starting with the news, starting with TikTok or different platforms, we're exposed to a construct or a system of things. And behind these systems, the main thing is fear, stress, and drama. A lot of people have escaped these platforms and do not or no longer utilize any type of platforms like chat rooms, party lines, because of the three things that I mentioned. And now with the introduction of AI, you don't know what is real and what is fake. Even going into those who have been kind of hip to this, when it comes to like the industry stuff, we've seen people fake dramas or fake storylines amongst each other to make it look like two celebrities are fighting, and then it has the fans deciding who's the best rapper, who's the best singer. And behind closed doors, these people are buddies. Because in reality, if they really hated each other, they would show up to each other's house. Especially when they're neighbors or their houses are backside from each other. It's quite crazy. But the only way that you're able to see all this is when you escape the matrix. When you're under the system, you're in a state of drama driven. You get an adrenaline rush off of drama. You get an adrenaline rush off of fear. You get an adrenaline rush off of worrying. And although some people say that they're not a fan of it, they would do everything freely, or should we say voluntarily, to be around those three things. I've mentioned this before, and I will stand on what I say. In order for you to live a peaceful, content life. And contentment does not mean safe where you're at. The word contentment doesn't mean stagnant. It means you are at peace with the decisions that you have made and that you will be making. Outside sources will always try to disrupt any type of system that you have in place for yourself, especially if it's about elevation. As a side note, several people I know, and including myself, we've had conversations about craving certain things, and you no longer craving these things. Like, I used to crave smoking a cigarette after every meal. And then it went to smoking a cigarette once a day. Then it went to smoking a cigarette once a week. What's going on? Is my taste buds changing? Or I went from drinking 2 or 3 glasses of wine a night to 1 or 2 glasses a night, to 1 glass a night, to 1 glass every 3 days, to 1 glass once a week. And now I go weeks without even drinking. What's going on? And my basic answer to all of this is spiritual fulfillment. You've escaped the matrix and you found who you are. And in the process of finding out who you are, you don't have time for fillers, drugs, alcohol, drama, and other things that seem entertaining to the simple-minded person no longer fulfills you. You no longer need to use it as a filler to soothe you. A lot of people will say that they drink and that they smoke to calm their nerves, but every human being stressed out. Every human being have a moment of anxiety or stress where they want to scream, they want to shout. But everyone does not drink or smoke. You would say maybe this person is stronger than you. You would say maybe this person is acting like they're too good to smoke or drink. But the reality is spiritual fulfillment. As you become more entwined with yourself and you learn more about yourself, which of course there's many ways of doing this. Therapy is one. Positive affirmations is another. Spending time with yourself is another. Adding into that, a lot of us, we never had alone time. A lot of us, we've always had a relationship. We've always dealt with friends. We've always been around people. We never had that moment of just woosahing. And now, whatever have gotten you to this point of being alone, you have more time to think about you and your future and how you're feeling and what you're thinking. And this is what's causing you to fall further away from your old habits. And even going into that as well, one of them that I was speaking to about this, I was like, what happened if you were doing all this drinking, not because you needed it to relax, but it became a habit for you? What happened if you started doing drugs, not because you needed something to get you through the moment, but because you were stressed and overwhelmed, and this was your way of taking your mind off of those issues? I learned that stimulation is important, but overstimulation puts the body into overdrive, which causes the body to do things that it normally doesn't do. If this process is not stopped in time, the actions that the body chooses to do or the person chooses to do becomes a habit. And now this habit becomes an addiction and they get lost in it. It's not about your life being worse than the next person. It's truly about decisions and ultimately stimulation. Something that I also want to add is that there are constant spiritual warfares going on. Some of them have existed before you even came down here. Some of them will still continue once you're no longer here. Unfortunately, in that process, and I do feel like this is about trials and tribulations. I do feel like this is about self-discovery. Unfortunately, a lot of people may know how to fight, but they don't really fight or even care to fight until they're forced to fight. In spiritual warfare, there will be casualties. And of course, that's unfortunate. But during times of adversaries, during times of, extreme anxiety, whatever, any type of, fight that you may feel, you have to fight to get out of it. You got to fight to prevent it. It's very important to remind yourself of who you are and just how important alone time, self-preservation, and self-healing is. Don't let people, places, and things deter you off of your journey. Even family and friends, even people that come along and make it seem like they're here to enjoy the ride with you. Be mindful about how they make you feel about yourself and your choices. Are they supportive when it comes to positive choices? Do they call you out when you're making not so positive or appropriate choices? And all this plays in it. Escaping the matrix is really finding yourself, leaving the drama where it's at. Stop entertaining, subscribing to, or being invested in things that cause you to be in a state of fear or worrying. True story. There's actually hormones within your body. One of them is cortisol. And this is responsible for a lot of things in your system, especially weight gain. But it also goes into sugar cravings, which leads into diabetes, and it causes you to crave, certain things, which could, increase your blood pressure and so forth and so forth. Stress is one factor of increasing that. Although it seems fun when you're in the matrix to be around drama and people that are always yelling and fighting and people that got a point to prove, in the end, everyone loses because this overstimulates your energy and it really puts you into overdrive and it keeps you in a state of, as we've been talking about, seems like this whole week, whether it's been with you guys or privately, fight or flight, and now your body don't know how to really respond when it's time to fight, or your body don't know how to relax when it's time to, relax, right? So I just want to remind y'all of that, alone time and spending time with self. And if you do have a issue with substance abuse or alcohol abuse, to try to get help. And hey, if you're somebody who say, I don't need help, I want to do this is fun, I like the way it tastes, then good luck to that. I wish you all the best with that and the things to come. If you are looking to find yourself give yourself that spiritual fulfillment without the distractions and the fillers, then like I said, spend more time with yourself. Give yourself an hour a day where you don't answer any phone calls. Give yourself 15 minutes a day where you don't deal with anybody but yourself. And it's sad because even like some people, and I won't say it's sad, but it's unfortunate that even some people, even when they're having experiences by themselves, they're still thinking about other people. And of course that goes into like codependency and stuff. But be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. A lot of us go through things and we try to push ourselves to get over them quickly. It's okay not to be okay, and it's okay not to get over it quickly. It's okay to be, yourself, regardless of how it makes other people feel. Who are you? Who are you to you? How do you feel about yourself? What do you do that may deter or help determine you of reaching your goals and dreams? What goals have you set for yourself to accomplish before 2026? Have you fulfilled these goals? Who and what has prevented you from fulfilling these goals? All of these questions help lead you back to you. It's an amazing feeling, you guys, when you connect with yourself. It's an amazing feeling. It's such an amazing feeling for you to sit and be in your thoughts, to be in your energy and be in your emotion, to be able to calm yourself down. And even when it seems like everything around you is falling apart or chaotic, you still find this peaceful moment. You still find this peaceful experience. And like that, it's such an amazing feeling. And no, my life is not falling apart. I'm just saying, situations have happened in the past that a bitch could have, okay? A bitch could have got a little crazy, okay? But, honey, she pulled herself together. And she said, you know what? They're going to figure out on their own. They're going to figure out how to do it. Something that I did, and I'm done. I told you I used to have this idea, like I needed to help people. I needed to save people and everyone. And even if they don't want it, I'm willing to go in. I'm willing to go in and force them. And I think my first experience that kind of shifted this was when I was 17, I believe. And I met a friend who was going through something. And this friend was actually, I think there was like a tornado or there was a hurricane coming. And this friend of mine, they had the opportunities to leave, but she didn't want to leave. And she said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to sit right here. And if it means losing my life, so be it. And hearing all this go on and getting a follow-up and just seeing, hearing, not seeing visibly, but hearing, how this person was happy and comfortable and had this nice house and all this good stuff. And then they have this experience happen to them and they lose it all. And, they're practically homeless and all this. And it made me in that moment, right? Because they wanted to be where they were at. And God, it was driving me nuts to be like, why would you stay there? Why would you not leave? Because, baby, if they say, bitch, you got 24 hours to go before this, bitch, I'm out of there. And so that was my first eye-opening experience where I said, there's a burning building and some people want to stay in that burning building. You cannot run back into that burning building to save these people. Because just like you had it in your mind and your intention to run the fuck up out of there, they also could have had that in their mind, their intention, but they didn't. They didn't want to. And so that's why I always say, and even now, where I'm like, baby, you don't want to be saved? You won't be saved. You want to be saved? I'm going to show you how to get it. And if you're like, bitch, I know what I know, I'm going to do it my way, then I'm minding my business. I've had conversations with people, you know, professionally and privately. And of course, I will give my opinion on something, and I know they'll do what they want to do anyway. But I just stop giving my advice, and I will help out when I can. If I cannot help out, I know they're going to be okay to figure it out on their own. But that whole, I have to help, I'm going to do this, like that, we're over that, baby. I'm not going to lose my peace of mind while they want to wrestle with their own mind. Because that's really what it is. They're wrestling with themselves, honey. And of course, you can't change them, right? You cannot help them get out of whatever delusion or whatever lifestyle they're in. And so to keep yourself safe and to keep yourself peaceful, honey, keep your distance. Still say hi and bye, but keep it pushing. So that's pretty much it, honey. Let me see who's in here before I go, honey. Come on here, Jay Sheba. Please, yes, honey. Loving the Angel Warrior photo. Thank you so much, Jay. Crazy you said arrangement of numbers. I've been seeing repeating numbers. Oh, Lord. Come on in here. Jay, if you don't mind me, what numbers have you been seeing? Girl, we love this AI Goddess Warrior image. Come on in here. Thank you so much. Just call me Coco. Please, that's wild. I met an art teacher. Oh, I heard that. What you doing with the art teacher? Oh, who was on the cancer, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to be what? She didn't want to be saved? What is my advice for someone who's dealing with depression? So, I'm from Northern California, and our medical system is very much Catholic based. And I don't know if everybody had a Catholic based medical system, but I know the one I grew up in was Catholic. Everybody was Catholic. The everything, gynecologist, pediatrician, everybody, everything. The diabetic doctor, the heart doctor, they were all Catholic. And one thing that my doctor told me when I was diagnosed with manic depression, I was actually diagnosed with manic depression, and I was actually observed by, 5 doctors, right? Now, I'm going to say this, because people have their own theories, right? And this is why, and I'm going to say this too, humbly, but I'm also going to say it very matter-of-factly. This is what kind of encouraged me to get into natural medicine and learn the ways of my body and understand how the energies work around me. And I've met people throughout my life who will say they understand how these energies work, but they still need pacifiers like cigarettes, weed, and alcohol to soothe them. They will also use other things, other means, maybe even people to soothe them. And I learned the best medicine for healing is isolation when it comes to certain things. And also during this isolation period to connect with yourself. What do you need in this moment? Do you need to go run out and scream, bitch, fuck you, fuckers? You know, what do you need to? You need to flare everybody off. You know, what do you need? And then, and you find it. And so going into, like I said, natural medicine and going into study of herbs and crystals and waters and even nature, seeing certain things, seeing mountains, seeing oceans, seeing beaches, seeing water, seeing trees. Like these things positively affect you. And even going to people who stay in the house, you know, and I mentioned before, I was one of those people. And I used to stay in the house. I was a homebody. I was really afraid to go out. I'm not going to say agoraphobia, but I was indoor all day. And being indoor all day causes you to honestly become hallucinative, or it causes you to hallucinate. It makes you become more of a worrier because you're not seeing anything but your walls and electronics, right? And so this is understimulating you, especially if you are a free spirited person and or a creative person. And so either way, and like I said, I have to throw that out there because I think sometimes people forget that about me. Like I say, diagnosed with manic depression, diagnosed, not just speculated, but diagnosed. And I never take any type of medicine for depression. And I don't have any type of symptoms of depression. I don't, you look up what the symptoms of depression is, and I've never had any type of display of that on a continuous basis. Can we talk about it? Because we all have our ups and downs. We all have our days where we don't feel that good, and we have our days where we feel really, really good. Fortunately, my good days outweigh my bad days. And so, bingo. But like I said, you know, people forget that and they'll, you know, try to give you, you know, advice and this and that. It's like, baby, I know. That's how I was diagnosed. And baby, I'm not on meds. I never had to take Proloft, Zoloft, Seroquel, any of that, honey. Hello? And so either way, when I went into this, my actual doctor, because my mama, I guess she would, I would say my pediatrician. Yeah. My mother made sure that if regardless of what we did up until we turned 18, that regardless of what we would what doctors we would go to, she would go to our pediatrician and she would run it by our pediatrician, this and that and this and that. And of course, you know, he would work outside his means because he was a pediatrician. And of course to deal with like kids like under 12. But he would still like, you know, let us come and visit him. He would give us physicals and stuff. If we needed things signed off for school, he'll let us, you know, go on there and he would give us, you know, our physicals and stuff. And so either way, you know, when I came in there, my mom told him what was going on. You know, he looked at me and I'll never forget this. And he said, "You're feeling depressed, huh?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Are you feeling depressed? Or are you feeling this?" And this, he had a interesting way of asking questions, but they were always the same question, right? And of course, the answer you give would basically make you question the question. And I won't go into detail about what he was asking because it's going to answer your question, Coco. But he looked at my mom and he said, "You need to make your child go outside, play in the grass, play with the trees, go do what they love doing, spend time by themselves, eat good food, and rest." Depression is a lazy person's disease. Now, mind you, this pediatrician was 93 years old at this time, and he was a pediatrician since he was 22 years old. Flat out, internal medicine, family medicine, and went into kids, being primarily dealing with children. And I never will forget that when he said that. And so what I did was, being only 14 years old, Coco, just call me Coco, I started looking up at that time, Ask Jeeves. I think Google came around a little later, maybe maybe 3 or 4 years later. But I was asking Jeeves, what can I do to excite myself? And one of them was jumping up and down. One of them was running in place. One of them was smelling your favorite fragrance. One of them was eating your favorite food. Another was spending time with people and things that you love spending time with. Another one was a pet. And so the first thing that I did when I got this, I went through a fluctuation. I gained a lot of weight because I was just eating. And I was eating the same foods, by the way: a burrito, hot Cheetos, a Pepsi, with a Snickers. And that's what I just kept eating it. I wouldn't eat nothing else. A burrito, hot Cheetos, a Snickers, and a Pepsi Twist with lemon, which it was so good, y'all. I love anything with lemon. And I started doing things I love. I started running. I started jumping up and down. If I felt like I was getting irritated or I felt like I was feeling low, I would jump up and down. I would skip. I would just do these things. And it worked. It worked. I would even run around the house. And then I started spending time with things I love doing. And at that point, it was writing music. I loved writing music. I loved writing poems. I loved writing, scripts and stuff. I loved it. And I would be in my room. I would put on my music. Loved at that time Brandy. I would listen to Brandy, all of her music. Oh, still love Brandy to this day. Loved her, loved her, loved her. Still love her. Put her music on, and I would just write and write and write and color and write and write. Sometimes I would play video games, but I did things that made me happy. And when people made me feel not so happy, and we could say sad, I would just cry. And I wasn't crying because I was sad that they made me feel this way. It was more so my way of releasing that energy. Because in my mind, and this before I even knew about this, right, spiritually, that crying was releasing energy, because after I cried, I felt better. And of course, while I'm crying, I'm thinking, oh, I want to fuck this person up. Oh, I want to kick this person in their fucking face. Oh, I want to slap them. Yeah, I was thinking that. But of course, I wasn't going to do it because I was like, bitch, they might whoop my motherfucking ass. Ooh, what happened if I go to juvenile hall? Like, I was thinking about this shit. But there you go, Coco. Somebody who's feeling depressed right now. And this kind of goes hand in hand with a conversation I had with someone earlier today about anxiety and stuff. And I used to be an ashwagandha girl, melatonin girl, valerian root girl, melatonin, Melissa, lemon balm girl, lavender tea girl, lavender and whatever capsules I would get from the whole homeopathy place. And that's when I learned that even though I was taking all that, I was still having symptoms of stress because I wasn't getting rid of the problem. I was masking it with the use of herbs. And that's the same thing with depression. What are you depressed about? What got you feeling not yourself? Is this something that you battled your whole life? Because if it is something that you battled your whole life, therapy and you finding things that make you feel happy is going to help you with that. If you have not battled this your whole life and it developed after an experience, allow that experience to fully engulf you and be in that moment. If that experience that you experience make you want to cry, cry. If it make you want to voice your concerns and your opinions to particular people and you cannot do that, write it out. Allow yourself some time to go through that. Grievance, mourning, right? Releasing that. After you've given yourself that time, now you tell yourself, now I'm going to spend this next 30 days, 2 weeks to do what I love doing. If that means going on a hike, that means taking a trip by yourself. That means, finding a solution, because something that I learned, I am Coco, is that people, and this course is working with people energetically, because I'm not a, psychologist or doctor, any of that, but I do know energy. Of course, I've taken therapy and, so I do advise people. Either way, deal with people that are depressed. One guy in particular, who's an in-person client of mine, who I've been working with for 2.5 years, something that came up a year ago was his girlfriend was cheating on him, and she did not tell him, or he did not know for like 3 or 4 months. And all of a sudden, on his birthday, she decided to break up with him. Now, this man was about 37, 38 when I met him. They only dated for, I believe, a year, maybe 2 years. And he's asking himself, why? Why would somebody be so heartless? Why would somebody do this? Why wouldn't they just be honest? What would cause somebody to want to break up with you on your birthday? And oh my God. And then after that, this person or this woman started going through um, mis mishaps and unfortunate things, and he couldn't do anything about it because she broke up with him and she wanted to date this other guy, and this other guy was beating her ass and doing fuck the bad shit to her, and he couldn't do anything about it. And so he was beating himself up about it, and I was telling him, you got to let it go. Oh, it's easier said than done. No, it's not. You're basically trying to micromanage and control her. You're basically, you didn't want her to leave. Her breaking up with you have nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with her. But you wanting her to come back, or you wanting to control how y'all broke up, that's have everything to do with you. You're a control freak. You can't control everything. Sometimes the blessing is in the downfall or the curse that you think is the curse. And it took this man almost 8 months to completely release that. But of course, every time we would talk, I would ask him, well, why does that bother you so much? Why does it bother you that this person broke up with you on your birthday? I mean, come on now. How would you feel? It's happened before. Not on my birthday, but important times and things came up and it was a breakup situation or people disappointing you. You put all your faith and trust in people like your parents and they disappoint you. But of course, I started asking myself, but why does that matter to me? Why am I so upset at the incomprehension or the incompetence of that person? Why am I upset about that? There's stupid people in this world that's going to do stupid shit. Why should that determine my energy? Because I don't think I'm stupid. And so even going into, like I said, the depressed person, what are you depressed about? And of course, people are going to say it's easier said than done, which is true for most cases. But what are you really depressed about? And are you depressed about that experience? Or are you depressed because you didn't have any control over that experience? Or are you depressed because you couldn't do what you wanted to do in that experience? Like, what is the real holdup? And also going into diet change. I think diet affects mood. I think diet affects mood. I think your environment affects your mood. So a lot of people who are depressed, they usually have a very fucked up surrounding. They're usually around a lot of fucked up people. Same thing with people who suffer from anxiety. You cannot have anxiety and you're by yourself. You cannot have anxiety and you're around people that you love and care for. It's something that you're not happy with. And of course, it's from somebody who is a warrior, who has anxiety, and of course, is managed very well. You're stressed out about something that you feel like you don't have control over, but why do you got to have control over it? There's people around you and things around you that you're not happy with. Why not change it? If you're not happy in the relationship, end it. If you're not happy where you live, move. If you don't like the job you're at, quit it. Like, why force yourself in these situations? Why force yourself with dealing with people? And I told you, for me, honey, I manage. I thought I would, certain energies, I'm going to say that I can deal with once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. Certain energies I cannot handle every day, and have nothing to do with them triggering me. I don't know. There's just certain things, you see potential in people and people are not living at that potential. And you're just like, girl, let me mind my business or whatever. And it's just like, oh, honey, I can't. And even going into some people who try to like run you and shit, bitch, you're not going to run me. When it comes to me and mine and my business and how I do my operation, what I do, ain't nobody gonna overstep the boundaries. I have 2 sets of parents, and I have 1 godparent. Baby, if you're not none of them, and they can't even tell me what to do. So if you think that I have to, and the only person I'm willing to compromise with is the person I'm being in a relationship with. Friends and family, there's no compromising. If I don't want to do something, I don't feel comfortable doing something, I'm gonna let it be known, and that's that. You cannot force me or bully me into doing something to make me think that I like you more or I like you less. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I don't have to explain to you why. One thing, like I said, about me being independent, that's why I like to become that's why I became an independent person. So I got to worry about people stressing me out, giving me anxiety, making me worry about anything. Because, baby, instead of me leaning on you for your time or whatever, baby, I'm going to do it myself. And I've lined myself up with that. And so, anyway, that's your answer. You're depressed. What are you around? Who are you around? What is your everyday routine? Are you holding on to things that are no longer serving you? Are you doing things that make you more happy or make you more sad? Are you just sitting here thinking about, your boyfriend who broke up with you? Then you need to get a job. Okay. If you're thinking about, I mean, like I said, everybody's situation is different. But if it's something, like I said, that okay. Okay. You're welcome. Just call me Coco. Yes, honey. Come on, Brandy. I would like to get to know if I love Brandy. I love Brandy, honey. I had the opportunity to meet Brandy 2 times. I love Brandy Norwood, talented, beautiful, nice. She's like a homegirl. She's girl. She's the one, she's the two, she's the three, she's the four. She's everything, honey. That's it. Okay. And she definitely sings better than Monica. Years ago, my best friend was talking to my boyfriend behind my back. And girl, I went crazy on them at first, but then I let it go. I cut off my ex-boyfriend completely and my homegirl, and I remained friends. No, no, Coco. No, 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 no. No, 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 Coco. Of course I can't tell you what to do. Coco, me personally, I would have broke up with my boyfriend. I would have ended that friendship. One thing about me, two things for sure, that I've learned from people. One thing and two things for sure. That's not how they say it, but whatever, baby. My brain is shutting down. Once a snake, always a snake. And it's not the man, it's the friend. Your friends have more loyalty to you than your boyfriend does. Your friend should be there for you even when the relationship with your boyfriend ends. Now, if you said husband, I could see that. But boyfriend, no. And so if your friend is talking to your boyfriend behind your back, that means that this friend want to be you, or they want what you got, or somehow, some way they envy you. That's what I don't deal with that type of energy. I don't deal with envious. I don't deal with jealousy. I don't deal with none of that, because I will never look at another person and be like, I want what they want. Oh, they look so, why are they so pretty? Why they got to get all the man? I would never do that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, who would look at me and say, I'm so jealous of this bitch? I want the same penis that been in her. I want it in me. I want to taste it, because that's what it comes down to ultimately. So that friend would have been X'd out, and the ex would have been X'd out. They both could have had each other, because the friend is a no good motherfucker too. He's no good and she no good. Hello? The friend is no good and the man is no good. And baby, you could do better without them both. I said this before. And this has happened. I've seen a man that I like. I'm like, and when I talk about fantasy wise, because myself and some of my friends will play and say, that's my man, that's my man. And it's like, okay. But it's like, girl, he'll never want you in real life, or he wouldn't want me in real life. So whatever. But back in the day, I had friends that, yeah, we wanted certain men, and just so happened a man was interested. And of course, this goes along the lines of not every man see every, woman of a particular experience as a woman. Okay. And that's I think, a misconception a lot of people think too. Like, oh, so he wants her, he's into trainings. No, he just want her. Okay. And so either way, they wanted a piece of it, and it didn't work out. And of course, the man say, hey, your friend hit me up. And then of course, I'm like, you know what? I ain't playing that. But anyway, If the shoes are on the other hand, and we both like this man, so I am not the root of the problem, I will, I will positively, absolutely decline. And it could be a situation that I really liked. Like there was two people in particular in my past that I really liked, that I really wanted. I felt like it was a perfect situation, but a friend of mine also wanted them. And I was thinking about it like that would be my motherfucking luck, that I date this man and this bitch finds her way into fucking this man. And now I'm gonna have to get rid of them both. And so I see that coming before it happened. I said, no, I don't want it. And so I declined. And of course, even going into one of my friends who ended up dating a guy, I was like, that's actually crazy, because I met that guy before they met that guy. And that guy, when I met him, was a player, and he mentioned that he knew other people. And I was like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that. And then she started bringing up, after I broke up with him completely, somebody who reminded me of him. And I was like, she has to be talking about him. And sure enough, she was like, I want you to meet my man. I was like, okay. And we go out to eat, and he walks up, and I'm like, uh-huh. And, he was like acting weird, like, oh my God. And I played like I didn't know him at all. And then, of course, I told the friend when they broke up, because she'll be like, come with us to the movies. No, I'll pass. Come, no, I'm not being a third wheel. And then after they broke up, because they did break up, I told, her, hey, him and I, we dated. And I was just like, no, because I felt like he was into community. And so anyway, for me, uh, just call me Coco. That's how I am. I want no man that want a friend. If I even have an idea, slightest idea that a friend has had that person, I don't want them. And that's what I said. I'm glad that, I have a sister who is also of trans experience, and we don't have the same taste in man for free. But when it comes down to money, um, I think there's no preference as long as they got the money. And so I told myself, baby, if I get back into the tea, baby, to make sure we not crossing paths and getting the same type of tea, baby, there's gonna be a high ass fee. And it's going to be some loops and dupes that I know that she's not going to put them through to get what they need to get. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'll be safe. But like I said, honey, I don't want to cross paths. I don't want to I don't want to be with the same man that a friend had dated a friend. I just, like I said, this is why, like, first timers are like people that are not into certain things. I know my personality. I know the personalities of the people that I'm around. I think we have different personalities, and so I tend to like men who like me, because, like I said, I'm the opposite of my other friends, especially the girls of a particular experience. So it's like bingo. And then, of course, some people think, well, maybe he'll change his mind if he meet her, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't think so, because there's a lot of there are some men who would settle for anything and do anything, but there's men that have also been offered money by certain type of girls, and they rejected the girls even with the money. So I'm like, those are the ones that I'm into. Okay. I'm not into anyone that like just anything. You gotta have a type, baby. Sorry, babe. You gotta have a type. And like I said, I'm not like any of my friends, baby. So there's no way you're going to like me and you're going to like them. Or you like me and you like them, you want to like your community trait. And vice versa. I would expect somebody who like my friends to not like me. I mean, honey, they could say, I think you're good looking or whatever, or you're nice looking, but I wouldn't expect them to be attracted to want me. Like I said, I'm very different from my friends. So, but yeah, I would have done it another way. Um, um, just call me Coco. I would have let that friend go. Okay. Our friendship was never the same afterwards, though. Right. Right. I do feel like I hold on to old memories too much. I don't talk to her at all currently. I know I stay connected to her because I used to work for her aunt. Oh, yeah, that's that long distance high and by. I was talking about this, and I think that's another like habit. I think we get this habit from friends or family. Like I think as kids we observe things and we see maybe our parents or our grandparents talking about a friend, and then they're like, "Well, they were just talking about Auntie Jeanette, and now they're hanging with her." So maybe it's normal for friends to talk about each other. I could never be cool with somebody who I do not have a common core um, similar to it. I know people right now, I'm Coco, that are friends of people because of the situation you just mentioned right now, or they feel like I met them and I don't like saying goodbye, so I won't see them as much, but we're still going to be friends. I'm like, honey, life is too short. Um, Listen, you could be cordial with people. You can be cordial with people. You don't got to be friends with people. You can be cordial. Hi, how you doing? I'm good. Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. Baby, we're not hanging out. We're not going to no movies together. We're not spending time together intimately. We're not doing none of that. I could say hi and bye. There's people that I have befriended shopping at the grocery store. There's people I befriended shopping at the laundromat, going to the laundromat. There's people I befriended, hell, even going to go check the mailbox. Hell, even going into, a gas station. Do they have my number? No. Will we hang out after work? Hell no. Would I invite them to my house? Shit, no. Would I go to their house? Fuck no. But it doesn't mean that we're enemies. I'm just cordial. Hi and bye. I think that a lot of people think that they have to be friends with people because they see them a lot or they work together. And I'm like, you don't have to. That's called boundaries, having boundaries. Hey, babe, you're a cool person. I'm not saying you're a bad person. We're just not compatible. I like this, you like that. I'm this, you're that. We're just the complete opposite. It's okay, to hey, who, hi. And what they say, you have friends, you have associates, and you have acquaintances. And that's okay. Everybody's not going to be your friend. Some people are associates or acquaintances. Acquaintances, of course, is every now and then. Who, ha, ha, ha. Maybe you'll sit and talk for a few minutes. Okay, take care. God bless you. And it may be another year, a few months before you see them again. An associate, okay, you could spend close time together, but you really don't trust them. There's not 100% everything them. And then, of course, your friend, you trust them. You guys hang around quite a lot. You guys have a lot in common. You may be different, but you still got a lot in common. And so, yeah, like I said, that's how it is for me. But definitely, now I'm seeing what you're saying. Maybe you guys just were acquainted, acquainted with each other because you worked for her aunt. And you're just like, let me say hi and bye to her. Now, if you hung out with her and all that shit, fuck no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, honey. I love myself too much, honey. Once I get a little wind, once I get a little tea that a friend of mine want what I have, or they're jealous of me, or it's a competition, that friendship is being deaded. It's being ended. Honey, I am not going to be competing with myself for myself. Because it's ultimately what you're doing. When somebody wants to be you and they want what you got and they gotta, oh, she liked this man, let me go after him too. Oh, well, this man don't like her. I'm gonna see if he likes me. That type of shit right there, bitch, no. That's a very dangerous game. And I've been in that situation quite a few. And of course, I believe I did it my last experience. Of course, time would tell, because I do get a little funny something. But for the most part, yeah, I ended all those experiences, baby. Like I said, we don't have nothing in common, but truthfully and respectfully, baby, there's still common decency. And like I said, I pay attention to how people move. Baby, I don't want no man that you want. I want a man that wants you. Also, if a man was fucked up to you, ain't no way I'm connecting and vibing with that man. Because he more than likely is trying to do some revenge shit. Like, maybe this bitch know her. So let me talk to her so she go back and tell her that we're talking. And, oh, look what I got for him. Uh-huh. You know they are, honey. Max was going crazy because I wouldn't speak on to him anymore. I know that's right, honey. I know that's right. But that's it for tonight, y'all. Not feeling asleep. Kick in right now. Oh, yes, honey. I'm feeling that sleep kick in right now. Oh, come on, honey. Yeah, let me take this ass to bed, y'all. Love and light. Good talking to you, Jay. And just call me Kiki. I'm gonna take my ass to bed now. It is 3:30. Honey, I'm supposed to be getting up at 7:30, but that's not gonna happen, honey. Okay. I need to at least sleep 5 hours, honey. Hello. Um, I gotta do some laundry and shit too. But anyway, we'll be talking again very, very soon, y'all. Love and light, love and truth. And as always, honey, I thank y'all for the love and support. And you can reach me at 28spiritmystic@gmail.com, 2spiritmystic.blogspot.com. And yeah, take care. Okay. Good seeing you. Like I said, bye for now.